back with us. But Acho, are the Packers contenders or pretenders?
Marcellus, I toiled over this question for so long because I love Aaron Rodgers, but where I landed was that they are pretenders. And it hurt my heart to say it because Aaron Rodgers is phenomenal. Aaron Jones is phenomenal. I love those two. I like their head coach. But the problem is very simple. The Packers need too much help on defense. Yeah. The last 6 losses the Packers have suffered in the playoffs have come to teams they lost to in the regular season. Okay. Why do I say that they are pretenders? Not because they're not good. Not because they might not go 12-4. They might go 13-3. They might go 11-5. I think the Packers are good. But the issue at hand is, are they contenders contending for a Super Bowl? To contend for a Super Bowl, you will likely have to beat the Buccaneers. I look at the Packers' history. Last year, they lost to the 49ers in the regular season, blown out by the 49ers again in the playoffs. They made no changes after they lost in the regular season to the playoffs. You saw what happened. History repeating itself. Albert Einstein, insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. The Packers, blown out by the Buccaneers earlier on, just 2 or 3 weeks ago. They've made no changes. Packers needed help at the trade deadline. They said, we Gucci. Our roster's fine. You make no changes. What happens when you see the Buccaneers again? I think the Packers are very good offensively, but defensively, too many gaps, too many voids, too many holes. How do you let Dalvin Cook become the first player since the merger to score 4 touchdowns on 4 straight possessions? As good as Aaron Rodgers is, he had 3 touchdowns last week, 110 passer rating, but he only had 2 possessions in the first half because their defense could not get off the field. I think the Packers, for that reason, as much as it pains me to say, they pretenders.
I think that they are contenders. I will put a little qualifier there.
Please.
And it is on the defensive side, but let's focus in on why they are contenders in the first place. And it's because of Aaron, and Adams. Call AAA, big dog, if you need some help because, boy, those offensive weapons between Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, and Davante Adams are special together. Now, this is a team that hasn't lost back-to-back games under Matt LaFleur, so don't expect them to go out there and lose the next game. And then you have to play the San Francisco 49ers, which takes us to a general conversation of, if you're a contender, who are you contending against? Interesting. All right, we know that the 49ers are all beat up at quarterback, tight end, running back, et cetera, to the point where they may not be contenders. Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Some interesting games against the Giants and the Bears. You win a close one, you lose a close one. Also a loss to the Saints in week 1. That we're going to let that go. But, you got smoked there. The Raiders, you beat them, and you beat the Packers. So if you look at this situation, you have to look up at the Buccaneers. What about the Saints? Close wins. Last 4 wins by, 15 points. Lost to the Raiders and to the Green Bay Packers. So wait a minute. We beat the Saints, who beat the Tampa Bay Bucks, but the Bucks beat us. And that's how the carousel goes around. But as long as you're on the carousel, guess what you are, Acho? A contender, not a pretender with the other top NFC teams. So that by just the default of no one else looks like they're clear and cut above them, I have to say that there are contenders.
Yeah, I'm with you, Marcellus. I'm going to say that they are contenders. Yeah. However, Acho, your point is valid. It's extremely valid. And to your point with you saying that they're not contenders because of their defense, they understand, and I even understand, that if their defense continues to play like this, it will be the reason why they don't accomplish what they've set out to do. However, offensively, Marcellus, you hit the nail on the head. It's all about Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, and Davante Adams. And what we didn't see is Aaron Jones out there on Sunday. And when you play great offense, you can cover up the wounds of your defense. The one thing that we look at out west with the Seattle Seahawks, we talk about how terrible and horrific their defense is. Well, the great equalizer is turnovers, and they get the ball back to that offense that is so great, even though they give up points. The Green Bay Packers have not been able to do that with the takeaway, giveaway advantage. They are plus in that area, but Aaron Rodgers needs more opportunities. And in this game, I know we love to fall in love with defense wins championships. Well, I got a surprising statement to make. Points win championships. That means offenses win championships. And if you can put up points in this league, you can have a chance. You will always have a chance.
Gentlemen, over the course of the pandemic, I had to buy a bike because weight rooms are closed. So, Greg, I went out there and I bought me a bike. I don't have the same fitness goals as you do on your Instagram, obviously.
No one
but
does.
I have some fitness goals of my own. And while I was buying my bike, I was a new rider, hadn't ridden in about 10 years, dozen years or so. I fell off my bike, cut my arm open.
Damn.
I went to my house, Marcellus, and all I had was a small itty-bitty Band-Aid. And I tried to cover up the gaping wound on my arm. And I realized the Band-Aid can't cover up the wound on my arm because the wound is too large. Greg, I go to your point. A great offense can't necessarily cover up the wounds of the defense if the wound is too large, sir, because the Dallas Cowboys, they had a great offense. But the wound of that defense, whoo, that one was too much to cover up. Packers have a great offense. Yes, they do. But against the Vikings, the wounds of that defense, too much to cover up. Let me tell you some things in life that are automatic. Death, taxes, and getting into the red zone against the Packers defense. Because in the Packers, their defense, last in red zone scoring defense. 28th in red zone touchdown defense. If you get into the red zone against these Packers, it's automatic, baby. You putting 6 on the board and likely 7. I'm riding with y'all on Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, I love Aaron Rodgers. I think he's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. The problem is the best way to limit Aaron Rodgers is to keep him on the bench. Greg Jennings, you know this better than me. You know this better than Marcellus. If I were to tell you, bro, Aaron Rodgers went 27 for 40, 300 yards, 110 passer rating, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions, you would just say this, hey, how much they win by? Like, that's all you would say.
Correct.
How much the Packers win by? To which I would retort, they actually lost 28-22 to the Vikings, one of the worst teams in football. You'd be like, how? And I'd simply, again, submit, it's the defense. So I ride with you and Marcellus on how great the offense is. But I think we have to be cautious of turning a blind eye because last point for me is this. When you get to the playoffs, bro, it's simple. You're going to have to face the Bears, a team with a good defense, or the Buccaneers, a team with a good defense, or the Seahawks, a team with a crazy good offense as good as yours. You're going to have to face the Rams, a team with a hot and streaky defense. You're going to have to place teams that really got competency on both sides of the ball. Packers incredibly competent offensively, but will they be contenders? I think to me it hinges upon that defense.
Like that, but don't ride with us. Sounds like you can't ride at all. I'm falling off the damn bike, all these entertainment stories. Boy, you're having a rough time in L.A. so far. Wash the Bentley, clean it up, dust it off, and just stay in your car, okay? I don't want you to come up here compromised and hurt all the time. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers and the Packers because you can get into all the details you want about, well, no Aaron Jones. Oh, well, the defense has let him down. But in playoff football, you just have to lose to somebody. And think about playoff football. Who are they going to lose to? Think about this, all right? Went through the Tampa Bay Bucks and the Saints, how they're all on that same carousel. We beat them, but they beat them, so we beat them. Oh, whatever. Exhausting. Seattle. Are you scared of Seattle, really? They haven't beat anybody, and they split against the teams that are above 500. So they lose to an Arizona team that's above 500, but then you lose to a Miami team that's barely above 500, which is 4-3. You beat them. So, I don't know about it. The Cardinals, are they really ready for this level? You know how you have to take your lumps once it comes to playoff football. Are they going to ascend to that level where they could beat the Green Bay Packers in playoff football? Kyler Murray versus Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. They beaten Seattle? Yeah, they beaten San Francisco, the big dogs, but they also lost to Detroit and Carolina. So I'm not sold on the Cardinals. Only thing I'm sold on, really, is this offense outpacing their defense. And this is a sad narrative that I love to clarify and demystify about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, I think there is a narrative that he doesn't perform of standard when it comes to the playoffs. But he's 11-8 in the playoffs. And those 8 losses, you know his defense gave up in points allowed? An average 36 points in those 8 losses. And that includes 51, 45, 44, 37 twice. Excuse me, Dougie Fresh. Aaron Rodgers is never going to win a game if your defense already has the scoreboard lit up with 37-plus points. So they need to shore up the defense. That is 20th in scoring and 30th in takeaways. Shore it up. But I still have them as contenders because I don't see anyone scarier than them.
I got a story for you, Acho. When I was a kid, I used to have this dog that was in this fence, and it could jump the fence, actually, and I was fast. So I was aware of the dog. I wasn't really scared of the dog, but I didn't want the dog to catch me because I didn't know what the dog would do. So I was fast enough, and I ran from the dog. You feel me? So every day I knew this was a potential that I could be chased by this dog. I was very aware that the dog could possibly catch me if I slowed down. I never slowed down.
Dog.
Why do I say this?
Say it.
Because if the Packers offense just do what they do and averaging 37 points in their wins and never slow down, they don't get caught by the dog of the defense that can potentially bite them and cause harm to them.
Well, I don't know. It would be 37-37 based on the numbers I just said and the numbers you just said because the defense is giving up 36. It's going to be a tight game when you talk about these two teams going at it. It's going to be fun to watch the carousel go around to see the contenders and separate from the pretenders.